calm my mind down. Bring me back to shore, back to you just like a lighthouse. Baby, when the waters get too rough, we wipe out.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm on my lunch break now, so as you saw, I just made myself like a small snack. It's supposed to be overnight oats, but obviously they haven't stayed in the fridge overnight. But yeah, I just put some Greek yogurt, some peaches, some granola that has oats in it. But yeah, today during my lunch break, I figured I might as well go over some things that I hate and some things that I love about being a software engineer, see if others relate. Again, this is all from my perspective, so it might not be the same for you. So yeah, I just decided to film this today. So I'm gonna be looking at my phone because I wrote up some notes. I didn't actually memorize the script for this video. And speaking of my phone, I gotta charge it. I'm gonna be going back and forth between the things that I hate and love. I'm gonna be going back and forth between the pros and cons, or what I hate and what I love about software engineering. And the first is gonna be something that I love about being a software engineer. And number one is the pay. I feel like I would be lying if I didn't say one of the reasons I pursued software engineering was because of the pay. So yeah, number one pro is definitely the pay. First thing that I dislike about software engineering is that it can get quite stressful at times. This is not to say that it's stressful 100% of the time. That is not the case, but there are some weeks that come by that are a lot more stressful than others. When there's a deadline coming up, it can get quite stressful. And yeah, there are times where this can happen with any job, but I'm skipping lunch, I lose track of time, constantly thinking about work after work. Related to this, the way that it can get stressful is that even after work, when you're working as a software engineer, in my case, as the day goes on, even after my working hours, I'm still thinking about the problems that I've been dealing with throughout the day. So if I'm not able to solve something by the end of the day, it kind of sticks in my mind throughout the night. There's even been times where I've dreamt about solutions to a problem, which is kind of insane. But especially if you have a bug that you've been dealing with, it's kind of hard to let go of it after work. I find myself thinking about the solutions to the bugs, and sometimes it's helpful. That means that I'm able to wake up and know the solution to a problem before actually having to spend the next day trying to fix it again. So it is, I guess, a kind of pro and con at the same time. Yeah, it's not fun when you're thinking about work after work hours. You should just be able to relax. But for me personally, when it comes to software engineering, it's kind of hard to do that, especially because I work from home. It's even worse because my working environment is also my home environment, and that's one of the reasons that I've been working towards getting another table, and that table being my dedicated workstation versus it being my leisure and work desk setup. But there are ways that you can deal with it. Obviously, it's nice to have a mentor at work, so you can let them know whenever you are feeling stressed, and you can work with them to be able to balance your workload a little bit better. On to number two of the things that I love about software engineering. It's interesting and engaging. Another reason that I got into software engineering is because I actually enjoy software engineering. I was very interested in computer science since high school. I took a class that introduced me to computer science. It was basically basic data structures and algorithms that you would learn, basic sorting algorithms, some of the pathfinding algorithms, and that kind of introduced me to, I guess, a different path than I was considering at the time. First, I was aiming to become an aeronautical engineer. Next, it became a mechanical engineer. Then once I took that class, I became more interested in computer science compared to physics. So I set my sights on becoming a software engineer. And yeah, I just find that it's super interesting. Working through problems on a day-to-day basis is very engaging, and I find myself not being bored at work, which is super important if you want to enjoy your job. Again, it can't go too far to where you're constantly stressed, but there needs to be a balance where you're actually engaged in your job. And I found with software engineering, that's the perfect balance that I need. And yeah, I just actually enjoy software engineering and building stuff, so it's kind of a win-win that I get to get paid for it. So that was number two of the things that I love about software engineering. It's very interesting and it's very engaging, and there are many different problems that need to be solved. It's never ending. Next is number two in the list of the things that I hate about software engineering. And this is related to me being a remote software engineer specifically, but it can be a little bit isolating at times when you're working as a remote software engineer, especially if there isn't an office in the city that you're located in, as is the case for me. I am the only one in my team in Vancouver, in Canada actually. All my teammates are in the United States, and a lot of them work in the same office spaces, so they get to see each other on a day-to-day basis. And having that office interaction, even though I do enjoy being a remote software engineer, it's nice to have the option to go to the office and meet your coworkers. Yeah, it can definitely get a bit isolating working from home. So I feel like the ideal situation for me would be like a hybrid solution to working, where I am a remote software engineer, but I do have the option of going to the office, and that is the case for a lot of the people on my team. And then on to number 3 of the things that I love about software engineering is, this is again related to the last thing that I just talked about in the things that I hate. I do love being a remote software engineer. That being said, that it is isolating. If I had the option of picking full-time office work or full-time remote work, I would always pick remote work. Just having the ability to be able to work from anywhere whenever I feel like it. If I'm feeling a little bit cooped up in the house, I can just go to a local cafe and work from there. And yeah, just being able to move around whenever I feel like it throughout the day. Another thing is I don't have to commute anywhere, and I feel like a lot of time is wasted when it comes to commuting to and from the office. That's one of the things that I love. I can just be at home, and once the workday ends, I don't need to commute to my house. I'm already in the house. I would always take being a remote software engineer versus being a full-time in-office software engineer. And in some companies like mine, we're even able to work from like outside our cities. So I can travel, I can visit my family, and I can still work at the same time. So I don't need to actually take any time off, but I still get to see like my family, which is, I would say, like a pretty nice perk. Being a remote software engineer is definitely a plus. I've been sitting in my office the whole day, so I feel like I gotta stand up and stretch a little bit. So switching locations. Next, we have number 3 in the things I hate about being a software engineer. It's imposter syndrome. There's some weeks that come by and I feel like I've been doing a lot of work, and then there's other weeks that have gone by where I have done a lot of work, impactful work, meaningful work, but I still feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like an imposter. Basically, I feel like I'm not at the same level as everybody else around me is. Even though I am, and even though people tell me I am, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I should be doing more. This is not like a constant feeling, but imposter syndrome is something that I've heard a lot of software engineers deal with, not something that I can shake easily. And yeah, sometimes just feeling like, am I meant to be here? Am I doing a good job here? Do my managers think I'm doing a good job? Even if I'm getting that feedback that I am still doing a good job, I don't know whether it's my inner voice that's telling me like you suck or something. I don't know, man. I try not to pay attention to it, but I found like, especially when it comes to software engineering, this is where I felt the most imposter syndrome. In any other environment, I wouldn't feel like this. I've never felt like this before. I feel like it's also because when it comes to software engineering, there are like a lot of exceptional engineers. And in my case, it's kind of hard to feel like I am at their level. Even though I don't have to be yet, I can still get there. It's just sometimes I feel like I have to be there now in order to be meaningful to the team, in order to be like an important part of the team. I know that's not the case. Like, trust me, I know that that is not the case at all. It's my inner voice that's messing around with me. So that's one of the things that I don't love about being a software engineer. Now that I am at my 2-year mark at my job, I feel like I'm a bit more seasoned. I feel like I can trust myself to be able to know when I'm doing a good job, but that's one thing for sure that is not fun about my life as a software engineer so far. Now, again, I'm not saying like if you become a software engineer, you're gonna have imposter syndrome. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. This is all from my perspective. That was number 3. But yeah, that's the total list. I think I've gone through everything. Yeah, thanks for sticking around until now. You guys really did a number on my previous YouTube video. I wasn't expecting it to get that much traction, I guess. So thank you very much for watching. If you've watched any of my other videos, thank you for coming back. If you enjoyed the video so far, give it a thumbs up, share it, comment what you hate and love about your job. I'm curious to know where you guys work and what you do, and in relation to that, what you hate and love about what you do. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.